We're joining back. Kindly mark your attendances again at the chat option. So we are starting our sixth module in the sequence of things, and we shifting our focus to one of the most ignored area of the business. That is, we focusing on how ethics and ethical considerations could be linked to business and business operations. So remember, in the initial class, I was overviewing the whole area of management. I looked at some of the major challenges facing business managers. I identified the criteria of efficiency and effectiveness as one of the major pressures on managers. Also looked at environment and globalization, technology and law. But I also remember identified ethics as one of a growing pressure on all managers because managers are found to be involved in unethical practices for the sake of maximizing their profits and overwhelming ambition towards generating output. They may like using all means, legal or illegal, ethical or unethical, to achieve that. And mostly managers are found guilty of ignoring the ethical considerations. That constitutes not only the way they respond to their employees, times they're not giving full pay to them, not even giving ample respect to them, recognition to them, but also the way they act and react towards environmental forces, especially to customers and then to general environment. So not only we'll be looking at how to define corporate social responsibility, though it's very difficult to do that, and how business ethics itself could be defined and how it be an influence on managers. We also be looking at the role of managers in terms of the natural environment, that is the impact of organization on the natural resources, water, soil, and air. Aren't we living in a troubled world where we be facing issues like the low air quality? We're looking at toxic waste being poured into water. We also be looking at harmful gases being emitted, which is creating issues like global warming. We call it the greenhouse emission effect that is happening. We already have destabilized the ecosystem in which we are living. All of these also relates to the aspects of the social responsibility. There is managers also have a greater responsibility towards the natural environment. So it relates to so many important frames that are there. Some of my colleagues will deliberately ignore this chapter, rather they don't discuss this because it is intervened in so many things as a challenging one for them. But then they believe that ethics and social responsibility is something that is not practically applicable in Pakistan, which is perhaps is not the right way to look at it. Rather, this is a growing importance in Pakistan, especially the way the multinationals are operating. And also, you've seen that in many industries, more multinationals are jumping in the competition. You feel that the multinational corporations, MNCs, have a greater emphasis and focus on the ethical considerations than the local ones. So it will be a growing phenomenon in the upcoming future. So we're looking at a business being in relationship with many elements inside and outside, with organizations being classified as social entities. Remember, हमने जो organization की definition पढ़ी थी, तो हमने कहा था organization is a social entity which has got relationships within, also relationships outside the organization. So it's not aloof, not alone. Once working in a given region, they will like associated with so many factors inside and outside. We have community to take care of. We have employees, consumers, owners, and governmental aspects that are there. Remember the stakeholder relationship perspective that we studied in the environmental uncertainty. area also talks about giving greater importance to all stakeholders that are around here. Look yourself beyond the stockholders, the owners. Traditionally, business are striving hard to generate profit for the owners only, and therefore they be continuously ignoring community, government, employees, and consumers. And because of this, the business reputation has gone drastically down. Businesses are classified as manipulators, classified as some entities that are extracting without passing it back. They'll be depleting natural resources as well. They be like, although they be like paying for. अब वो देखें नेचुरल गैस यूज करते हैं कंपनीज, तो विंटर्स में कम्युनिटी के पास नेचुरल गैस रिसोर्सेज नहीं बचते और उनको वो सवियर विंटर्स के अंदर प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं। फिर डेलिकेट बैलेंस क्रिएट करना पड़ता है, गवर्नमेंट्स को वो सप्लाई खत्म कर देती हैं बिजनेस के लिए और फिर कंज्यूमर्स को वो प्रोवाइड करती हैं और फिर ह्यूमन क्राई बहुत साइड्स पे चलता रहता है। सो they are ready to pay for it, but because the natural resource is so scarce, water and other resources, if they deplete it, it's not available for the general public. So जिस पे उनका overall right है, other than the organization as well. So at times organizations are typically ignoring and therefore casting huge pressures on issues and challenges for the overall environment. And they basically not totally criticized and evaluated, critically evaluated based on this as well. And that's why in the last 25, 30 years, we have seen a lot of scandals that emerged on the surface. This is a reflection through a survey that was conducted by ABC News, that is the American Broadcasting Corporation, and one of the newspapers, that is Washington Post. They surveyed about how and why the businesses are seen in among the general public. So it was found that 63% of the public felt that there should be strong regulations of corporations. Once we look at this word corporate social responsibility, the word corporate means giant, bigger organization. So there's a typical focus, specific focus on giant, bigger companies, not on small firms, but giant organizations because they are the ones who are accumulating a lot of resources, multiplying their profits. So the social responsibility crisis is typically associated with giant, bigger companies. And the general public opinion is not good about them. They believe that giant, bigger corporates should be kept more accountable and the public should be protected against them. Therefore, they believe that they're harming the public in many ways. 75% of those surveyed, they express limited confidence in large corporations. They don't like larger corporations at all, in simple words. So the repute of the organizations are drastically going down. That is what you could suggest out of these statistics. The opinion poll now places business people in lower esteem than even politicians. The politicians have been like blamed for their lies and their inability, and also they criticize the way they took take care of their personal interest across the globe. हमारे यहाँ भी पॉलिटिशियंस को बहुत बुरा समझा जाता है, लेकिन वर्ल्ड के अंदर भी हम देख रहे हैं कि पॉलिटिशियन से कम रैंक कर रहे हैं बिजनेस के लोग। इसका मतलब है दे डोंट लाइक द वे द बिजनेस पीपल आर कैरिंग वैल्यूज। उनके जो वैल्यू सिस्टम है उनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन मार्क है कि वो ऑब्सेस्ड विद लाइज हैं और वो झूठ बोलते हैं और वो मल्टीप्लाई करना चाहते हैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के प्रॉफिट को। 57% general public believe that standards and values of the corporate leaders and executives have dropped down drastically in the last 20 years. तो मैं इस पर कुछ बात कर लेता हूँ। अगर आप अपने पेरेंट्स से पूछें अपनी जनरेशन में जब वो जिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में काम करते थे तो वहाँ उनके बॉसेस खासतौर पे जहाँ से टाइप कल्चर था वो उनको गिफ्ट्स दिया करते थे, उनको रिक्रिएशनल ट्रिप्स पे भेजा करते थे। अगर किसी जिस कंपनी में जहाँ प्रोडक्ट ढूंढती थी तो उनके पैकेज उनके घर आते थे। आई रिमेंबर माय फादर वाज यूज्ड टू वर्क विद पेप्सी। He used to have a lot of crates and bottles coming to our home on a regular basis, on weekly basis almost. It was like passing on a bonus, a benefit to their employees. And with the passage of time, it was found that the managers and owners were obsessed with more profit, and the benefits were so cut from the employees. Remember, they came to small packages to single bottles, bottles to smaller bottles. So still the benefits were coming, but in comparison was very small, very cut out. So cutting out budget on employees. इससे भी अंदाजा नजर आता है कि वैल्यूज थी पुराने ओनर्स की was to take care of their employees and also to pass on benefits to them. And they thought they were their partners and they were like their family members. And now they could see them as a cost factor, and the owners are obsessed with more profit, so they're cutting it out from all corners, and their values are typically more economic oriented rather than relationship oriented as well. So the values of these owners have dropped down drastically in the last 20 years. And there were a lot of scandals, not in Pakistan, there were huge scandals in Pakistan always, but there's a lot of scandals across the globe, which have also triggered a lot of financial crisis in countries like even the United States. This is a typical example of how the top executives see ethics. They typically ignoring it. This is a scandal on Enron. Perhaps you have a little idea about it. Enron, one of the most powerful and giant financial corporation in the United States at one time. The big E of Enron was a symbol of success. The money was coming from the pensionaries and they were investing into ventures across the globe and giving returns to their investors who were tiny, small investors, like retired people who were putting a lot of money into it. Because it was going great returns to people, everyone was pouring money into this company. The company was obsessed with success. Even the company had trouble time in a few quarters. They were obsessed with such so much so in the success that they were reflecting in terms of their accounting as a profit while they were going in losses. हम इनको कहते हैं सिंपल वर्ड्स में डॉजी अकाउंटिंग. यानी आप अपना इंप्रेशन कायम रखने के लिए, रिप्यूट कायम करने के लिए, शेयर होल्डर्स के सामने अपनी एक वैल्यू बरकरार रखने के लिए जानबूझ के अपनी अकाउंटिंग में ऐसी मैनिपुलेशन करते हैं कि आप प्रॉफिट रिफ्लेक्ट कर सकें, अदरवाइज यू आर गोइंग इन लॉसेस. ऑफ कोर्स they have a system of external audit. Once the external auditors came, they found that the managers were involved in these practices. And once asked about टॉपिक से पूछा गया कि आप ऐसा क्यों करते रहे थे, तो उन्होंने कहा जी हमें तो पता ही नहीं है, हम तो उसका जवाबदेही नहीं है. फाइनेंशियल ऑफिसर से पूछें कि वो ऐसी हरकत क्यों कर रहे थे, तो उन्होंने कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने से साफ इनकार कर दिया. आई थिंक द कंपनी बिकेम बैंकरप्टेड इवेंचुअली and the government didn't have enough money to pay back out of that, and it became a huge financial crisis in the United States. Ample money was lost into this venture है. और ये reflect करता है कि top executives are basically obsessed with lies, and they basically in the greed and their practices are heavily involved in unethical practices. तो ये स्कैंडल से भी साबित होता है. वेल्स फार्गो was based on that. Even FIFA, the world leading organizing company in terms of football and soccer, their president Sepp Blatter was found guilty of taking bribes and irregularities, financial irregularities during the operations of FIFA at the time. So not limited to just one industry, but there are multiple examples where like even invading tax invasion, which is a very regular practice in Pakistan, highly corrupted area where you be able to invade tax and be able to pass on a bit of perks to the tax officers and you be like away from it. So these are all examples of the unethical practices top executives been involved into that. If you looked at this facet of social responsibility, there is another one है. बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग फेसेट्स हैं सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के लिए, इसलिए को समझाना इतना आसान नहीं है. You see, McDonald's have been criticized for making food unhealthy. The super size me, इसको खाने से आप देखें कि लोग वो obese और फैट हो जाते हैं. आप इंटरेस्टिंग एक्सरसाइज करें, सर्वे करें, ऑब्जर्वेशन देखें. आप फास्ट फूड रेस्टोरेंट में जाके बैठ जाएं और देखेंगे कुछ वीक्स में कुछ फैमिलीज रेगुलर वहाँ विजिट करती हैं, तो आप देखिएगा ज़्यादातर वो फैमिलीज ऑब्वियस हैं, यानी उनकी फैट एक्यूमुलेट किए हुए, बिकॉज वो जो फास्ट फूड है और वो अनहेल्दी कैलोरीज है, फैट है, वो मुसलसल टेकअप करने से. दैट्स व्हाई डॉक्टर्स बैन दीज आइटम्स. वो जाते लिखता है कि इसको बंद करना चाहिए, शुड नॉट बी टेकन रेगुलर बेसिस. On and off, taking a burger is not a problem, but a burger on a regular basis, a cold drink on a regular basis is something associated with obesity, unhealthiness. और भी बहुत सारे problems like calories means blood pressure, or that's calories means और issues जो कि medical sciences में हो सकते हैं. So isn't it be for McDonald's that they should advertise what they basically make? They usually don't do that. That's why they be heavily criticized for making food unhealthier. या तो मैकडोनल्ड ये करे फूड को हेल्दियर बनाए, स्मॉलर पोर्शंस डाले, लीनर बीफ डाले, कैनोला ऑयल यूज करे. ऐसा क्यों नहीं करता मैकडोनल्ड? बिकॉज प्राइस वैल्यू फॉर प्रोडक्ट ये इशू है. अगर आप प्राइस पे करते हैं तब उतनी वैल्यू नहीं मिलती, कस्टमर परेशान हो जाते हैं. अब वो हेल्दियर फूड आइटम डाले तो कॉस्टली है. एनिमल ऑयल इज ईजी, कैनोला ऑयल इज एक्सपेंसिव, यानी चीपर है और एक्सपेंसिव है. दैट्स व्हाई दे डोंट यूज दैट. उनकी कॉस्ट बढ़ना शुरू हो जाएगी. एटलीस्ट दे शुड एडवर्टाइज व्हाट इज इन दी फूड है. कम से कम ये तो बता दे इसमें इतनी कैलोरीज है, इतने फैट्स हैं, ताकि फिर लोग अपने डॉक्टर से कंसल्ट करें और पूछें कि ये वाइडर लेना चाहिए या नहीं लेना चाहिए. आप हंस रहे होंगे कि इसके पे ये क्या तरीका कार है कि डॉक्टर से जाके पूछे मैंने बर्गर खाना है या नहीं. लेकिन जहाँ न्यूट्रिशनल वैल्यूज़ की ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम आना शुरू हो जाती है, ओबेसिटी बढ़ती है, वहाँ फिर मजबूरन लोग हर चीज़ खाने से पहले डॉक्टर से पूछते हैं कि क्या है. तो isn't we socially responsible as far as social responsibility of McDonald is to look at these rather than just developing unhealthy food है. आप देखा कोक के ऊपर कितनी क्रिटिसिज्म हुई है, पेप्सी एंड कोक के ऊपर कि these beverages are not healthier. फिर वो क्लेम करते हैं कि अगर ये बात है तो फिर ऑरेंज जूस इज मोर अनहेल्दियर देन द कोक इटसेल्फ है, बिकॉज जिन इंग्रेडिएंट्स की बेस पे कोक को अनहेल्दियर करार दिया जा रहा है उसकी बेस पे तो ऑरेंज जूस उतना ही ज़्यादा खतरनाक है, उससे 10 टाइम ज़्यादा खतरनाक है. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि हम ऑरेंज जूस इतना रेगुलर यूज़ नहीं करते जितना कि हम कोल्ड ड्रिंक यूज़ करते हैं. तो वो भी मैन्युफैक्चरर ये क्लेम करते हैं कि आप हर चीज़ का एक्सेस इस्तेमाल करेंगे तो बैड होती है. तो अगर आप कोक बहुत रेगुलरली यूज़ करेंगे तो बैड है, ओकेजनली यूज़ करेंगे तो अच्छा है. That is the way they promote it. But then social responsibility has so many facets. आप देख रहे हैं वो हर तरह की इंडस्ट्रीज को टच कर रहा है फ्रेम, और उस वाले से बहुत सारी डिस्कशंस आ रही हैं. लुकिंग एट दिस हम किसी हद तक CSR को डिफाइन कर सकते हैं. Corporate social responsibility is sort of an obligation, responsibility of an organization management to make decisions, take actions that will enhance the welfare of the society and as well as of the organization. बड़ा अच्छा है कि आप ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की प्रॉफिट को मैक्सिमाइज करने की कोशिश करें, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, लेकिन साथ के साथ कम्युनिटी या सोसाइटी की वेलफेयर का भी काम करें. And many companies are not lagging behind in this regard. They be like trying their well best to accomplish that. The extent to which companies should and do channelize resources towards improving the quality life of one of the stakeholders segments of the society other than stockholders. Stockholders के लिए तो आपने प्रॉफिट मैक्सिमाइज करना ही है, इसके अलावा भी किसी ना किसी स्टेक होल्डर एलिमेंट की केयर करनी चाहिए. हम देखेंगे बहुत सारी कंपनी के एग्जाम्पल आगे आ रही हैं, वो हर स्टेक होल्डर की तो केयर नहीं करते, लेकिन किसी ना किसी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेक होल्डर की केयर जरूर करते हैं. Either of the members outside the domain of the owners and investors. Set of obligations. An organization has to protect and enhance. ये वर्ड दोनों बड़े अच्छे हैं ग्रिफिन की डेफिनेशन में. प्रोटेक्ट एंड एनहांस द सोसाइटल कॉन्टेक्स्ट इन विच इट फंक्शंस. हमने हार्म क्रिएट नहीं करना है, हार्म भी रोकना है. तो टॉक्सिक वेस्ट नहीं डालना है, पोल्यूशन क्रिएट नहीं करनी है, हमने हरासमेंट और डिस्क्रिमिनेशन नहीं करनी, ये भी हार्म है इंटरनल फैक्टर्स के हवाले से. हमने नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज को भी डिप्लीट नहीं करना है, यानी हार्म नहीं करना है, लेकिन साथ के साथ में सोसाइटल कंटेक्स्ट को एनहेंस भी करना है, बेहतरी भी लानी है, वेलफेयर का काम भी करना है, प्रोएक्टिवली सोशल कॉजेज के लिए काम भी करना है. आई हैव अ bit of introduction to this chapter. We have almost done with this today's class. Hopefully I'll be able to share these slides, these videos with you. Unfortunately last time videos are also residing at my computer. मैं इसको भी कॉपी करता हूँ और आपके साथ शेयर करता हूँ जो जूम के लास्ट सेशंस थे और ये वाले भी, ताकि आपके पास तमाम पास्ट वीडियोस आ जाएं. With the passage of time, we accumulating a lot of resources. हम काफ़ी सारे resources को कवर अप कर रहे हैं. ऑफ कोर्स फिर फाइनल पेपर के हवाले से इसमें बहुत सारी डायनामिक्स होंगी. better is to just utilize these holidays upcoming up to cover up as much as contents as possible so that आप at ease हो जाए फाइनल टर्म की हद तक डिफिकल्ट टाइम है रमज़ान इज डेफिनेटली वो आपको एनर्जी को रिड्यूस कर देता है इश्यूज बढ़ जाते हैं ऑफ कोर्स lethargicness creeps into but it's an ample time available during the night and early daytime where you'll be able to revise your things, get it done and ready for your examination as well. See you inshallah tomorrow at the same time with a couple of sessions. Hopefully, we able to cover up as much as content in this chapter as well.